Hello YouTube, this is Chris at External Services. Before we get this video started, I want to say thank you all for the prayers and the love and support and well wishes and everything that you've done for me and my wife and our children and my mother-in-law and stuff like that. My mother-in-law is on her way back home tonight from the hospital from her stomach problems she was having. Long story short, my wife's on her way to go pick her up. I had this video recorded last night and twice actually, and so I'm just re-recording it because it didn't turn out the way I wanted it to. So anyway, without further ado, let's get on to it. So I've got two more encyclopedias. They're not mine. I wish they were. I'm trying to get my mother-in-law to give me her old books. She's supposed to be moving to Tennessee, and she got a bunch of old books that I want. And this is a encyclopedia set. And I could probably find more than this in the encyclopedia set, but I just looked up a couple basic things. But this is more proof of the biblical flat earth. The elite know about it. And that it's not a modern thing. It's something that's been always since the beginning of the earth, when God created it. And that it's not stupid, yokel, idiot, educated people that believe in the biblical flat earth. So I'm going to try to keep this short as possible. I do like these book coverings. I did notice today, though, you see all the emblems around it. I noticed the triangles. I don't know right offhand what that emblem means. And then you've got this genie lamp on top of a book. It almost resembles a Bible because it's way thicker than these are. So I don't know. But this is the Home University Encyclopedia number 4, COS through ELE. And this is World War II era encyclopedias. Let's go here. Try to keep this short and sweet, like I said, because I got to get a few things done. Yeah, see, there's as you see there, it's the Home University Encyclopedia, an illustrated treasury of knowledge, prepared under the editorship of C. Ralph Taylor, advisory editor Carl Van Doren, with special articles and departmental service supervision by 462 leading editors, educators, specialists in the United States and Europe. This is the 1945 revised edition. And as you see there, that's all the times that it was copyrighted. Nelson New Loose Leaf Encyclopedia, first published and copyrighted in 1905, revised and copyrighted again in 1934 by Thomas Nelson and Sons, New York, revised, abridged, copyrighted from 1935. Come on, focus. All the way up from 35 to 1945. All right, so we're going to start right off the gate strong here. And if you look up the word Earth, okay, the planet home of man, for many ages, popularity believed that to be what's that say? Flat. That it was. Let's see here. I'm skipping ahead here. Long after the Greek philosophers had proved that it was globular. The Greeks, the pagans, and this is the higher ups. This is the people that think they're smart and they think they're smarter than God and Jesus, his son. Okay, until about 4 centuries ago, it was considered even by the learned is well-educated, the smart people, people had good schooling, stuff of that nature. That's just how they talked back then. I used to joke with my kids all the time about, I'm going to learn you. Anyway, to be the center of the solar system. So in other words, the Earth is flat, the sun, moon, and stars are under a dome circling around our sky. That's what that means. And system and of the universe. Its rotation was understood in the 15th century by the heliocentric theory. See, up at the very top here, it says, popularly, the majority of people believed it was flat. They believed it. It doesn't say theory there, it says believed. And that they were learned. Okay? They don't want to say that that this was taught in textbooks for schools. They don't want to say that it wasn't a modern thing, because then people would have to rethink everything. They would have to rethink the Bible, God's word. They would have to rethink everything they were taught. But if you're taught it's just a modern thing within the last 20 years, and it wasn't taught, it wasn't in textbooks and stuff like that, and it's not taught in the Bible, then it's easier to keep people under their control, believing a lie. Anyway, heliocentric theory is associated with Copernicus, who used it in the beginning of the 16th century to explain the movements of the heavenly bodies. You notice they didn't say planets, solar system, galaxies, so on and so on, so forth. They said heavenly bodies, moon, sun, and stars. Okay? Kepler, 1571 to 1630, by means of blah, blah, blah. You can go ahead and pause that and read it if you want. Starts talking about Sir Isaac Newton. Okay? Which is the one that came up with the theory of gravity, because an apple bumped him on the head. It wasn't gravity. Gravity wasn't even a thing. That's a made-up word, just like gravity's made up. I've said this in other videos. He was sitting under an apple tree. Density and buoyancy and mass is what technically what they call gravity. That's what it is. It's not what they describe gravity as, right? What gravity is density, buoyancy, and mass. No gravity is needed. If you don't know what that is, if you're a younger person watching this, you haven't been taught it yet, or in a school they don't teach properly these things. Density, if an object is heavier than the air around it, it sinks. If it's lighter than the air around it, it floats. That's buoyancy. And the mass, obviously, is the size of the object. Okay? I've got in my old encyclopedia that I've done a couple videos on already, it talks about how airplanes were made, and nothing is mentioned about gravity. It's all density, buoyancy, mass, and airflow. Okay? And the propulsion of the motor, of the propellers, rather, and the power of the motor doesn't mention gravity at all. All right? So, there starts going on about the planet and the so-called fake Earth, globe Earth. But as you see there, it clearly says the planet, let's see here, for many ages, it was popularly believed to be flat, long after the Greek philosophers had proven it to be globular, which they didn't prove. That's when they started listening. Because if you listen to the beginning of that, even the Greek philosophers, the Greeks, if you look at all the different maps and the way that they depict the Earth and the sun, moon, and stars, they don't depict anything else. Even the Greeks, they depict a biblical flat Earth, or a flat Earth, and in the way because it's not biblical. They're not. It is biblical because it's the same essential idea, but it's not biblical because they're pagan. They didn't believe in the Bible. So that's what I mean. But they depicted the same thing. And then their higher ups, they think they're smarter than God, listening to their demon buddies, the AKA what we call aliens, come up with, they were being told, this is this is that, this is this. You know, there's these planets, this is their names, which is the name of demons. You live on a ball, the earth circles the sun, so on and so forth. That's how they were able to have the same exact things that NASA pushes now since they supposedly been going to space, which they haven't, but devil's advocate here, they've been going to space. They have the same exact model. The so-called planets look exactly the same. Everything looks exactly the same as back then. Why is that? It's the same demons telling the same lie, just with better technology to be able to sell it. Okay? But at a certain point, even the pagans that didn't believe in the Bible still believed the same model as the Bible. Okay? And you got to ask yourself, see, I was thinking about this last night after I recorded this a couple times. It didn't turn out well, the way I wanted it. So, you know, the Egyptians, and this is, to me, more proof of the Nephilim, being half alien, what we call alien, which is the sons of God, the angels, the fallen angels, the demons, and half human. See, it's always been taught and believed that that the Egyptians were wrapping the heads of their children from birth to give them that oblong, to give them that weird shape and that weird jawline, okay? That weird facial figures and stuff, to match their gods, which if you look at it, they look pretty similar to like a gray alien, right? These skulls they're finding from Egypt. What if they weren't wrapping their heads and forming it like that with cloth? I mean, that's still somewhat of a possibility, but that doesn't explain the weird cheekbones and eye sockets and jawlines and stuff like that. What if those are skulls of one of the breeds of the Nephilims? You get what I'm saying? Just like cavemen. Cavemen are never spoke of in the Bible, but how do you sell Big Bang and evolution and this fake globe model and other planets, solar systems, and galaxies, and aliens seeding the earth, and so on and so forth, that doesn't match anything in the Bible? How do you sell that? You gotta have a beginning creation that isn't what we are, that evolved into what we are. But if you go read the book of Genesis, Adam and Eve didn't ooga booga, pound on head, drag woman to cave, or any other nonsense. Nowhere in the Bible does it support cavemen. And if you look at the cavemen's skulls and the bones that they're finding, they don't look like ours. They look like ours to a certain extent, but they also have that weird shapes to their jawlines, to their cheekbones, to their nose holes, so on and so forth. They have that same odd. They don't have the stretched out head, but they do have, like the Egyptians, but they do have that odd shape to their skull, right? So how do you sell this fake globe model, this fake NASA model, but it's still and hide and make it look like aliens are gods? And how do you make it look like evolution's real? You take and hide demons and make the Bible look wrong and silly and fairy tales, right? You take these things that are Nephilim. The Nephilim can be killed. Solomon, look at David and Goliath. Okay, he wasn't an angel. He was one of the forms of the Nephilim. The Bible says the Nephilims were there during the flood. That's why God flooded it. He flooded the earth because there were so many. And then there was Nephilim after that. Well, why was there Nephilim after that if the flood destroyed them all? Because the flood would have destroyed them all. If God wants to destroy you, he's destroying you. Because the angels, the fallen angels rather, came back and started sleeping with human women again and men. And that's where we get the alien abductions and the sexual experiments and so on and so forth. Right? So that's how the Nephilim were there after the flood, was because the aliens came back down and started sleeping with humans again. Aliens as in demons, fallen angels. See, my voice is not all that, it's still messed up, but I got to get this video done. Anyway, we're already sitting at, oh, geez. almost 15 minutes. So let's move on to the next one, because I can go on and on and on and on and on. This is number 5 of the same one, the Home University Encyclopedia, number 5, ELE through FYI. Or Friday. Fry. Now, look what this one says. This one says about the firmament. A word formerly used to signify the vault of heaven. Okay? A vault is a arched ceiling or roof. The term found its way into the English form, or English from the Vulgate, which is the Latin translation of the Bible. So again, that proves a biblical flat earth, just like the other one I just showed you. This is not in the Bible. Okay, what I'm reading you is not in the Bible. Don't twist my words. Okay. And was specially employed by the Hebrews and denote the hemisphere above the earth. Not the sides of the earth, not the bottom of the earth, not all the way around, the top of the earth, above the earth. And it was especially, it says, specially employed by the Hebrews, which would be God's chosen people, which is where we get the Old Testament from. And the New Testament, technically, even though it was written in Greek, the disciples, originally the original disciples, which is what wrote the New Testament, were Hebrew. Okay? And it was, I keep wanting to say specially employed by the Hebrews. Okay? Sorry if my phone's jerky and stuff like that. My phone's messing up, being all stupid. Anyway, I had to get this out here to you guys. One, my voice is feeling a little better. I'm feeling a little better. The stupid chemtrails being sprayed today is messing with me. But I've been doing really good trying to keep up on videos, or getting videos made, I should say. Even though it's like the last few have not been videos that I've been saying for a while, but I need to get up for months now, some of them a year or more. But my mother-in-law's coming home today, and we got to start taking care of her for her medical problems again. And I don't know when I'm going to be able to get another video up, because I'm taking care of her and helping my wife, and not counting any illnesses or not feeling good or whatever. And then I don't want to bother my mother-in-law. She's in there watching TV and stuff like that. And I don't want her TV affecting my videos. So, I don't know if when the next video I'm going to get up is. So I definitely needed to get this up, because it's just yet more proof that the earth is biblically flat. This is proof outside of the Bible. Just like I've had people comment, oh, I believe in the flat earth, but I don't believe Jesus was real. And I responded back to them, and they never responded back to me as far as I know. I haven't got it. That I told them, I said, yeah, but I'm a biblical, I agree with you with the flat earth part. Okay, I do. But I'm a biblical believing Christian. So I believe there is a biblical Jesus as the Son of God. But also there's too much historical facts for a historical Jesus that spoke of in the Bible. There's been documents, one of many examples, and that's what I even said in the video, or in the comment, somebody else's video, they're responding to me. Or it could have been my video, either way, that even the Romans who crucified Jesus have documents from the biblical era, the biblical times, carbon dated, stamped, and everything, with their seal, saying that a man that claimed to come from God, that it did no wrong, but yet we crucified him anyway. Then there's the Chinese people. Look up Chinese Christian writings. I believe is how I found it a long time ago. Let me know if you want, and I can pin the comment, or not pin the comment, but I can put the video I'm talking about right now in the About Me section. That way you can find it, because I know right where it's at. where their Bible, before they became pagan and believed in all these multiple gods and goddesses, they had the same exact, but just in their writing, as the Bible, Old Testament and New. I'll give you an example, and this is long before Christians started going over and talking to them and evangelizing to them and stuff like that. They said, and that a man, essentially that a man from God was hung on a cross, and I'm just giving you shorthand here, and that yin became yang, day became night. And that's exactly what happened. If you look at the crucifixion in the Bible, in the Christian Bible, that's exactly what happened. One of the things that happened was that the clouds covered the sun and darkened out the sun. Okay? And day became night over the whole earth. How do you get that darkness fell over the whole earth on NASA's model? By covering the sun with clouds in Jerusalem. You get what I'm saying? So anyway, yeah. And I don't want to hear, oh, he's God, he can do whatever he wants. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and leave it there. But yeah, I decided to get these videos, this video up. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Use all the links about me section. Rate, comment, subscribe. Much love. God bless. And I will see you on the next one.